19 of Speak On It, the Joe Montana episode, the Johnny Unitas episode, the Keyshawn Johnson episode. As always, I'm your host, Danny Ocean, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. How you living, baby?
Hey, man, you already know, man, when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los, D-Mix. People, I'm happy to be here. Wouldn't want to be nowhere else on this Tuesday. As y'all know, I'm enjoying my beautiful, stress-free basketball now. I'm just watching basketball. I'm now a fan of basketball. The Lakers are out. You know, the Packers are in dysfunction. I'm ready. I'm waiting on to the fall for that. Now I'm just enjoying stress-free playoff basketball. Some great games last night. Shout out, first off, to the Atlanta Hawks. I thought y'all were dead in the fucking water after the first half, and the Sixers choked it up. I'm not going to call out anybody. I'm not going to say somebody wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to say someone was choking in the second half. The Sixers, they just choked it up as a team. I want to shout out to and I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to shout out to the LA Clippers. I definitely thought you bums were dead in the water. I definitely thought you bums on the Clippers were dead in the water at 0-2. Y'all have proved me wrong. We have a series now, and I think the Jazz are scared. When the Jazz aren't, we'll get into it. When the Jazz threes aren't hitting, oh baby, that's the 2017 Houston Rockets. I'm ready to get into it.
Who told you about that? Anyway, before we get cracking, as always, the show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all of your fantasy needs. PJ, what's up? As you can see, if you talk to us in the chat, we chat back.
Yes, sir, PJ.
I can't believe you just gave a shout out to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Even though I'm a Lakers fan, I'm a fan of basketball. So it would be crazy for me not to give them credit because they were down 0-2, and I had the slander ready. I was like, oh, we in post MVP, but they proven me wrong. This is a series now, and I'm telling you, man, the Jazz are scared. I'm not gonna say scared because Game 5 didn't use.
Oh no, they are scared.
Look, when they are not hitting them threes, we're watching Game 7, 2017 Rockets again. You know what I mean, people? When they are not hitting them threes, they look like that Rockets team that missed 27 straight threes.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but who told you that the threes don't fall in the playoffs like that? Are you drinking White Claw?
Oh yeah, brother, it's one of them days.
So, we can talk about White Claw later because I have a question about that because I've had two and they've been disgusting. Maybe you can guide me. But let's talk about teams that are actually playing right now, not like the Lakers and the Mavericks. Let's talk about these Denver Nuggets and the MVP, Nikola Jokic, getting swept by the Phoenix Suns. Joker was thrown out for the hand swipe on Bridges. That was questionable at best. I think the refs overreacted a little bit. The question is, though, does that ejection and being swept by the Suns, does this tarnish Jokic? Does this tarnish his MVP? And the second part of this question is, how serious are these Phoenix Suns?
I'm going to start with your MVP question. Excuse me. No, this doesn't tarnish his MVP. Frankly, shame on you NBA refs for throwing that man out in a game where his team's getting fucking rocked, like getting their fucking doors blown off. Y'all clearly see this man is frustrated because he's the only person who showed up to play basketball in a Denver Nuggets uniform. Was he trying to slap the shit out of Campaign? No, he wasn't. Oh. He wanted to make a hard foul to get some energy in his team because his team, his team was out there planning to go to Cancun. So Jokic shows up. He's like, "Yo, can we get some juices going?" Tried to commit a hard foul. Campaign's face was just on the way to the ball. And then you knew his intentions weren't bad. When the first thing after he got thrown out, he goes up and tell Campaign, "Look, that wasn't my bad." That's how you know, because if he really meant that shit, they would have been on his scrapping. Then I'd have been like, "All right, Jokic, come on now." Second part of your question: how seriously am I taking the Suns? I would pick them to beat the Jazz. I don't think they can beat the Clippers.
Okay.
This is why. And I don't want to discredit them when I say this, but they've beaten two half-injured bubble teams. And what I mean by that is The Final Four from the bubble last year, people, if y'all have not been paying attention, the Final Four teams from the bubble last year, the Lakers, the Heat, the Celtics, and the Nuggets, they left this postseason sad. Like, they left this postseason, like, sad. And there's a reason for that, because they had a shortened offseason. Now you see why players really value the offseason, because when you can't rest your body, you look like the Lakers, the Heat, the Celtics, and the Nuggets, just injured. Now, granted, all the NBA teams have dealt with injuries, but I would say those 4 teams, they've dealt with injuries, COVID, and fatigue all year, and it just finally caught up with them. So I say all that to say, when they ran into the Suns, mind you, they was up 2-1. They was up 2-1. But if AD doesn't get hurt, I don't know if we're sitting here saying it's going to be the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Now, I don't want to split them because they played really well, and, you know, they whooped our ass, and they wiped the floor with Denver, which should really tell you about that Lakers team because they took them to 6. But I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm not saying they're fraudulent. I'm just saying, let me see them again. If they beat the Clippers or like the Clippers or the Jazz, I'm gonna be like, all right.
You consistently push out Laker propaganda, and it's okay.
You damn right.
So I agree with you. It does not tarnish. Man, my throat. Excuse me.
Pause.
It is. Come on, man. I'm just. It does not tarnish his MVP whatsoever. That's a regular season award. He was the best player in the league for the regular season.
Didn't he play every game?
And he played every game, right? Like, it doesn't tarnish. I mean, we can get these jokes off, but again, Dirk won MVP and then was the first 1 seed to lose to the 8 seed to the Believe Warriors, right? It's fine. Like, I don't hold that against Jokic at all. But I'm taking these Suns I'm taking them seriously. Like, in my mind, like, they're title contenders. Like Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. Like, Chris Paul got these boys hooping. Chris Paul showing that he's the real MVP. Let me ask you this, though, because a lot of people, I've seen this a lot. It's like, well, if Jamal Murray played, it'd be different. Do you think Jamal Murray makes that much of a difference?
Like, I mean, they got swept. I don't know. They lose in 5?
Right.
They lose in 5. They got swept. Like, it's not like they lost in 7. They got swept. Like, and there's a couple games in there and they were getting the floor waxed with them.
Yeah, so I agree. And I want to say one thing about Denver, because I feel like they do this to us every year, right? Like, every year they have a great regular season or they come out of nowhere. They win like 12 to 17 straight. They jump to one of the top seeds, somewhere between 2 and 5. And we start talking ourselves into being title contenders. And then they lay an egg. So you know what? I'm not falling for it anymore. I don't care. I'm with you. They got swept. You don't get it. Jamal Murray does not swing the pendulum that far from a sweep to winning the series. He would just been out there getting his ass kicked like the rest of them. That's all Jamal Murray would have done. Yeah. Was got his ass kicked just like his teammates.
You know, like, I think there's more legitimacy in the argument that the Lakers with AD beat the Suns before the Nuggets and Jamal Murray beat. I mean, because they got swept. That's like, I keep going back. They got swept. Like, they didn't win a game. Like, I think Charles Barkley said it best. If you're a great player, you at least go get one.
You at least get one.
You know, up until last night, I thought game 1 was the only game the Hawks were going to win. Now we have a series. If you win that one, I mean, 1, you're not going to get swept, and 2, you putting pressure on the other team, especially if you win game 1. But, you know, I digress. I mean, the Nuggets still had a great season. The Suns, they're having a great season. I don't want to take anything away. Devin Booker is that dude, people. Like, Devin Booker is that dude. Like, he is that dude. I don't want to take anything away from Phoenix. I think, you know, we'll see what they're about in the Western Conference Finals. We'll see.
Did you see that video of Jokic's brothers in the crowd? Yo, Book need to calm down.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't you play with them Serbians?
Oh, you the Book from Phoenix?
Hang on. Look, don't play with them. Don't play with them, Book. Next thing you know, you might be walking out of, you might be pulling up one of your old lowriders book, and you're gonna see some black SUVs outside the arena. I'm telling you right now, don't you play with them Serbians.
Them boys don't wear a ski mask at all. They want you to see them coming. You might
Thank
need
you,
that.
PJ. Thank you, PJ. AI got one against the Lakers, and they had Shaq and Kobe. Now, mind you, they won game 1 and got their boots smoked from games 2 through 5, but they won one.
I would like to, and we can talk about this one day, not today, but I want to talk about how that Sixers team was one of the worst teams to ever reach the finals. That's like the worst team is LeBron when he took the 06 Cavs to the final, 07? Yeah. 07 Cavs. I would say that Sixers team is right up there.
Did they win a game that series?
Who? The Cavs? No, the Spurs swept. Tim Duncan made quick work of that. Yeah. I remember that series. I was on vacation. Okay, by the time vacation was over, the series
has
was
LeBron been swept twice in the finals? 07 and 18 against those Warriors. Albeit if J.R. Smith and George Hill don't commit two of the biggest bonehead moves back to back, I think the Warriors win in 5. No. I don't think. I know they win. If George Hill makes that second free throw, we never go into overtime, and J.R. Smith doesn't forget the score.
That was the best moment in finals. Like I remember watching that game, and I was like, I know he didn't forget the score. Like in real time, and I was like, dog, I know he didn't forget the score.
No, I was sitting there, like I was watching it, and I was like, yo, I think he dead ass forgot the score. Like I was like, no, I think he dead ass forgot the score. Like, you know how you try to tell yourself, nah, he ain't forget it. I was like, nah, there's no way. And then the more I was watching his body language, I was like, hey, yo, I think this motherfucker forgot the score of the game.
Yo, do you think, and then we'll move on to the Nets, do you think that there's going to be a reference to that in Space Jam 2? Because I really think LeBron's going to troll JR in Space Jam 2.
One of these days he is. I bet you Bug's gonna ask him what's the number we need to reach to win.
There's got to be some sort of troll in there to JR. Like it just has to be. All right, so let's PJ says LeBron needs to get the ball from Smith. Like, do you mean like LeBron needs to run up to the top of the key and demand it?
PJ said LeBron should have just ran up to him and took the ball.
He did. They had a timeout, right?
Oh shit.
They had a timeout, right? In the man.
No, I think they may have had a timeout. No, they may have had a timeout. I don't remember if they had a timeout or not. I do remember though. J.R. Smith caught that rebound. He tried to dribble it out.
Yeah,
and
he dribbled it out.
Let's just move on because I'm about to be sick as hell for LeBron already. Again, I was. How sick were you after that game? Because
I thought that was hilarious. I wasn't sick at all. I
wasn't sick as a Cavs fan. I was more sick for LeBron because I was like,
oh yeah,
if there was one game you was gonna steal from that team, it was that
game.
It was that.
Oh,
you didn't even do that.
You could hear the Jordan stands celebrating over these amber waves of grain known as America. They were elated because that would never happen to Jordan. Jordan would have ran up to Dennis Rodman and punched him in the face and then shot a sky hook from 3-point
range. Jordan is undefeated in the finals because he got his ass ran through in the first round enough times that they built a team around him.
Talk about it.
I love Michael Jordan.
If you look closer, you see Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas's foot all up in Jordan's ass.
But I digress.
Okay, let's talk about these Nets because PJ in here talking about Jordan better LeBron. We're not here for that tonight. So James Harden has been cleared and he is expected to play tonight, assuming he feels good. Idea as it relates to the long-term plans for Harden and the Nets, and in the short term, does having Harden give the Nets an advantage in the series against Milwaukee? Jordan is not the GOAT, PJ. We'll talk about this later. Right now, we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay. So this topic is interesting to me. As someone who's a former Division I athlete and someone who's actually like torn their hamstring competing in my sport, I have an idea of the pain and I have an idea of this injury and how it's people, I'm gonna start by telling y'all this. If you've ever had like I don't mean like a hamstring pull, I'm talking about like a serious hamstring injury, you don't really realize how painful this shit is. Like I'm talking like you can't bend over, you can pause, you can barely take showers. Like it is sometimes like people, y'all don't realize how active your hamstrings are. So I say all that to say, if James Harden feels good, that means his body feels good, right? I think I am of the mindset that the Brooklyn Nets are trusting James Harden, but watching him as he, works out, warms up, like they're going to make sure that this guy's 100%. Now, I know everyone's saying, oh yeah, but we saw AD come back early. People, a groin strain is different than a hamstring strain. A groin strain, you can, get that thing kind of activated and you can attempt to play through it. A hamstring, you cannot play through it, people. Like you can't run. AD was barely moving up the court, but if your hamstring is like really, really hurt, you cannot run. Like I know for a fact. So long term, I think if he's healthy, yes, because I think long term, if he's healthy, him and the Nets are going to be fine. He wants to win a championship. If KD, Kyrie, all three of them stay there, they're going to be fine. Short term, I do think this gives them the advantage in the series, just because Brooklyn's offense works better when James Harden is facilitating. Obviously, missing Kyrie is going to be a key, but I think having a healthy enough James Harden helps them. I would say my biggest thing, my biggest worry is that Milwaukee might have the pendulum swinging their way in terms of momentum. That if, let's just say, the Bucks come out hot, it could be scary because then Harden might try to push and then he might actually re-aggravate it, because them hammies are the worst. They can pop back up in a second. So that's my thought.
So I want to, speaking of hamstrings, I've never had hamstring problems. I've sprained an ankle, and sprained ankles stay with you for a long time. But as Harden's not going to be healthy until next year. Like, he's not going to be 100% until next season. So whatever they get out of him from now until whenever their season ends, it's just going to be what it's going to be. Like, he's not going to be 100%. So if long term is the rest of the playoffs, and sure, like, do you want to lose knowing that you gave everything, or have that what if you're Steve Nash and like, well, what if Harden had played Game 5 and we actually stole one and we went on to the Eastern Conference Finals? Mm-hmm. In the short term, does it give the Nets an advantage? I mean, I guess like you can use James Harden as a decoy, which will create some open space for Kevin Durant, the one person we just seem to forget about in this series. Like, Kevin Durant's the second best player on this planet. He's going for 40 tonight. Like, you can take that to your bookie. Kevin Durant is going 40. 40.
Man, let me tell you something. 40 is too low. Give me a KD 50 burger.
A 50 burger? Okay. 40's the floor.
I smell a KD 50 burger tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here to push my pro-Harden agenda, people. Because let me tell you something. Somebody from the Brooklyn Nets is going to get close to putting up 50 today. My preference would be that it's James Harden, so he can really remind you fuck motherfuckers out here who he really is. Let me tell y'all something. There was a period of time when this man was giving us 36 a night. 36 NBA points a night. I don't care how many free throws you get a night. To score 36 and to average 36 points in a NBA game, my brother, you are a hooper's hooper. A hooper's hooper. I'm ready for James Harden to really come out and remind y'all to stop playing with his name. Yeah. Obviously, if KD do it, I mean, y'all know how I feel about KD. That's the greatest scorer of all time. But I'm getting tired of people playing on James Harden's name. Like, he's not a league MVP. Like, he's not the second greatest scorer in the NBA right now, only behind Kevin Durant,
his teammate.
Like, I'm getting tired of the Harden slander, people. I get it. He likes strip clubs. Damn it, so do I. So do I. I'm tired of y'all with this Harden slander. I ain't gonna take it no more.
So we both on the record tonight saying this is the KD game. This is the 50 burger.
Someone's putting up some numbers tonight that's gonna have me talking real crazy to some Bucks fans tonight. Except for my Bucks fans that are Packers fans, because you know it's all love.
Sorry, Giannis, your go-go gadget, throw my shoulder in someone's chest offense is not going to work tonight.
Hey, what type of offense is it?
His go-go gadget, throw my shoulder in your chest offense. Like, that's all it is, dog. Did you see it? There's a clip on Twitter. Like, he's at the free throw line at the nail. and he's like just dribbling, and then he's
Oh,
like,
I
"No,
know
I
what
have
you're
I
talking
have
about.
no offensive moves at all, so let me
Man, he
back
had
up to the
no
3-point line."
offensive bag, people. And like I was just watching it, and I was like, "Yo, Giannis, I fuck with you, dog. I really ain't got no beef with you, Giannis, but you gotta develop a bag,
Dog,
you gotta develop a bag, man. You know,
he shoot jump shots like a 6-year-old playing with dad. Like, dog, he shot like dog. Granted, I want him in Dallas, so don't worry. You still welcome in Dallas, Giannis.
you better hope by keeping your boy in Dallas. But we'll talk about that. Well, I'll let you finish the show with that.
All right, well, yeah, we'll end with that. But let's look at the bigger picture for these Brooklyn Nets. So Kyrie sprained his ankle during Game 4 in the worst sentence in sports. He's out indefinitely. Like, there's no timetable for his return.
Oh, word?
How much?
Really?
I mean, if there's no timetable, that means indefinitely, right? Like, that's just the roundabout way of saying indefinitely.
Okay.
If you don't want to give me a timetable, how are the Nets? How much trouble are the Nets in? And can KD in a semi-healthy James Harden carry this team to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Is water wet? Yes. Yes. That's my answer. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let me tell y'all something. Man. Kevin Durant is a 2-time champion and a 2-time finals MVP. He is alongside a half injured, but a former finals MVP himself with a pretty good supporting cast. Yes, they can get to the. If all you got to do is win 2 out of the next 3, with 2 of those being at home, yeah, pencil. This team has enough. If they're getting, if they're hitting their shots, and they got some role players who are able to create some of their own, who are able to create their own offense, given that KD and/or Harden is going to be doubled. Yes, yes. Let's not forget they have Joe Harris, very good 3-point shooter. They have Bruce Brown, who's actually found ways to get his own offense going. They got Claxton. I don't want to pronounce his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Future?
He's a really good player. Let me tell y'all something. Harden semi-healthy and KD is KD. Oh yeah. Penciled him in. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me if this series doesn't go to 7. It wouldn't surprise me if this series goes to 6 without Kyrie. Then we're gonna have. Then if that happens, then we're not only am I going to really push this Harden agenda, but the agenda against Giannis is going to be scary.
And it should be, because again,
it's going to be scary.
The go gadget offense doesn't work in the playoffs.
Because let me tell you something. If y'all watching out there, the Bucks have to be a little bit physical, because when they're not physical, man,
they got nothing.
KD had Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker in hell. They have no choice but to be physical, because if not, that man is just giving them buckets. And you know what's even funny about KD? When I'm watching him out there, I know that motherfucker be out there talking shit. I know he be in their ear popping his shit, because
you know what's even worse?
He's making the shots.
He's making the shots, and he's semi-bald. Like, there's nothing worse. Like, that dude going bald, his hair looked like cotton, and he out here giving me this work, and
giving me this work for 48 minutes, and I'm trying my hardest. Like, I'm trying my hardest, making it hard on every shot, and he is still busting my ass. My boy PJ said White Claws got him.
Yeah, hey, White Claws got you slurring, dog.
Not bad, bro.
White Claws got you out in these streets slurring, but nah, KD's about to take control. And I can't wait to watch this.
Stepping away to the other Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference matchup. How big was that Hawks win last night for the series? Do you think because that was a game that the Hawks completely stole that game. So do you think now the Sixers bunker down and finish this in 6, or do you think the Hawks can win in 6 or 7?
So I have the Sixers winning the NBA championship, and I'm not going away from that. I think they take care of this in 6, but I am deathly afraid of Embiid's meniscus. I said it last week. Like, last night in the second half, he was 0 for 12. He couldn't get the lift. Like, that last shot should have been a dunk, a statement dunk. This game is over. But he didn't have the lift. Like, that meniscus, I know we don't want to talk about it when he's dropping 30 and looking like a beast, but it's starting to take its toll. So they need to wrap this up quickly, because he needs to rest for Brooklyn.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if there's a way that is it possible for him to play for the next month? Because I just don't know. Like,
I don't know. Like that's what I'm
If
scared.
they make the finals, which is basically in a month, would he make it?
I don't know. I'm petrified. A man that size, like I'm not a doctor, but man, can't sit here and tell me his meniscus is torn, and the more he plays on it, the worse it's going to get. Like I feel like that's just basic. It's just, and then Ben Simmons, you had a chance. He missed the layup. You had the rebound, and you missed the putback. Come on, dog. You don't do anything on the offensive. All we ask you for a putback. Like you're an elite defender. You're a great facilitator. You don't score a lot, which is fine. But dog, you should be able to put.
Is it fine? Is it fine?
Yes.
Is it fine?
It's fine when Embiid is balling.
But is it fine if your point guard cannot generate really now? If your point guard cannot generate his own type of offense at all?
It is when you have a team around him that can hit shots, right? Like they surround Ben Simmons with shooters and Joel Embiid. Like his job is to facilitate, play defense, let Curry, Tobias, Danny Green, Joel, like let those guys hit shots. You get your dunks. Yeah, you get your points in transition. You get your points off steals and putbacks. But yeah, like I think the Sixers have built an amazing team. Like they got a bunch of killers. I mean, not killers, a bunch of shooters around Ben Simmons. It's just like, dog, that's a putback. It's research. Hold on a second. Research says, sorry, but the dirtiest player in the league needs to learn how to shoot. Oh, Ben Simmons is dirty? What?
Well, I thought he was talking about Chris Paul for a second.
No. How is Ben Simmons dirty? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, you got to explain that one to me because I didn't know Ben Simmons was. Yeah. I just heard he can't shoot.
Yeah, I just heard he. Is this?
He loves the Kardashians.
I'm about to say him and Book love the Kardashians. That is a dirty Mackin story worth exploring.
I'm not exploring that one at all. I'm not even. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me ask you something.
Okay.
How do you bring up asking a woman to pay for the date? Not because you can't pay for it, because you don't want to pay for it.
So I'm glad this is kind of turned into the love hour because I have tons of advice from my days back in the game. So this is how you get out of paying for her on the date. If she is there, this is the rule I always followed. If she is there because of you, because you invited her, then you are obligated to pay. But if you two happen to be in the same place and link up, then you don't have to pay for anything. So if you and your boys bowling, so if you know her and her girls are going bowling, and you and your boys just show up and y'all link up and bowl together, you ain't got to pay for shit. She was going to be there anyway.
Yeah. This I know you ain't mess with these 2021 women. Let me tell you something. With the way Drake is out here down talking a lot of these nice ass hotels because he rich as hell and he always talking about his plane and how he got women out here saying, look, private resort. No, I need you to go ahead and book a villa. Fuck the private resort. I can't. Oh,
then she can go holler at Drake. That's easy.
I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying, look, I've been out the game for 10 years. And
I'm not saying like, you know what I'm saying, we obligate. I mean, because there's plenty of ways to, you know, take a woman out on a nice day without having to spend a lot of money. It's just, I don't know if you've been on Twitter a lot, but there were ladies out here who just been clowning brothers for being brothers. I saw a brother show up to a day. He had an Amber Crombie shirt on. He got clowned. Like, come on, dog. Like back in the day, Amber Crombie was cool. Like, we was rocking the Abercrombie. Nobody wanted to rock the Abercrombie. No. I'm like, okay.
Being brothers.
like, goddamn, like you gotta come to a date now in the Gucci shirt, the Balenciaga, the Balenciaga pants. You gotta have the off-whites on. You're not driving something foreign.
Hey, you know, save your time and it's not worth it. Let me give you another piece of advice. This is another piece that when I was in the game, I followed. Never buy a woman a drink at the bar as an icebreaker. If you need a drink to talk to her, you don't need to talk to her.
Wait, say that again. Never buy a woman a drink for an icebreaker.
As an icebreaker, you know how dudes buy a woman a drink at the bar as a way to as a conversation starter.
No, I can't really because like I'm thinking. See, okay, the way I'm thinking, okay, I see what you're saying now. Because like
Yeah,
me, I chat a little bit. I get this, I'm feeling the conversation out, and then I'll be like, all right, you want a drink? You
yes.
know? But
A drink should.
you're talking about someone who just walk up to the bar, see a fine young woman, and be like, "Can I buy you a drink?" to start the conversation.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
some sucker
right.
stuff.
I'm here to tell you, brothers, right now. Keep on doing that. You're gonna be paying for a drink that you do not want to pay for. She gonna get a double. She gonna get a double something that's gonna be the most expensive shit on the menu just because you paying for it. No, I'm just
and we should say that just because you buy a woman a drink, she is not obligated to talk to you, right? Like that.
Oh,
we need to state the obvious. Like,
look,
it just
if we being transparent here, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something to the Speak On It podcast. When it comes to my shooting percentage of being successful with buying women drinks, I am not shooting over 50% from the field. I don't even know if I'm shooting fucking 40% from the field, people. Let me just keep it a beam with y'all. I hands down get curved more often than I succeed. And I'm perfectly okay with that.
Most people do, though. Like, name a dude who isn't famous or doesn't have a lot of money that is,
or non-athlete.
Or a non-athlete that has a winning percentage. It's rare.
It is rare.
Unless you don't shoot a lot of shots.
Like, I would consider myself a high volume shooter. Like if I had to compare the way I shoot my shot at ladies to any NBA player in the game, it would be James Harden. I can give you 36 a night, and I probably shot that, or I probably went 7 for 24 from the field, and probably got 15 points at the free throw line. Whatever analogy free throw line, the free throw line accompanies. Yeah, like I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm a high volume shooter. I shoot my shot a lot. Not going to say it always goes in. I'm not going to say majority of the time it goes in, but when it do go in, I think I'm around that 40%. I think I'm around 40%. So
let's talk about the types of shot. When you say shooting your shots, are these shots for you like layups? Or are these 3-point shots? Are these half court heaves? Are these?
I'm shooting from anywhere on the court. There's sometimes where I shoot from the opposing goal, and I have, the thing is, on some of those, I would say I'm probably shooting 50% on some of those. I have a higher percentage from out there just because, like, if I know I have no business shooting my shot, not only am I thinking of some of the most clever lines, but I'm coming in smooth. Like, I'm coming in with my smooth game. Now, if it's a layup, I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more lackadaisical with it. I'm gonna be, like, I'm gonna text you here, and I might wait a little bit, then text you because I say easy one. Now, if it's a mid range, I might put it in a little bit more. But the half court heaves, I would honestly say them half and full court heave shots have been some. I look back on some of those messages, and I was like, "Hey, yo, I was talking my shit. Okay, this is my last story, and then I'm gonna let you go.
No, please. This is great. This is what we're here for.
Let me tell you something. And if any ladies that I'm currently texting hear this, just know this doesn't apply to you, maybe yet. So I'm a big Rick and Morty fan, and one of my favorite episodes of Rick and Morty was this episode when Morty got this incredible amount of confidence, and he just started shooting his shot. And he went up to this girl and was basically like, I want to love you full-time, part-time, want to get fired, so on and so forth. And he was so smooth with it. I was like, hey, yo, I'm going to one day, I'm just going to use that line. I'm going to use that line on someone. I used it last week, got a number, one singular number.
Research asks, are we handing awards tonight? And yes, we are, Kyle. We're handing an award to D tonight for most improved player.
Shit, most improved player. Nah, I've been a league MVP. I'm just
my fault. No disrespect.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I've been a league MVP, but my game has been, I'm low key with my game. I'm like if I was to compare myself to any NBA MVP.
Steve Nash?
Dirk.
Hey, come on now.
People just forget about that MVP. People just forget about his MVP. People forget about my game. That's cool. I move in the shadows, baby. I move in the shadows, man.
When I was in my youth, I was more of a 6-man.
I think that's my problem. My problem is I should be more of a 6-man. Like sometimes I be tired of being a high volume shooter. I be like, yo, I get tired of shooting all these shots.
I'll give him 15 points off 6 shots and a couple of free throws, man. Back in the day, we pack it up, we get the dub, we go home.
Like sometimes, dog, I be shooting my shot and I'm like, yo, do I even really want to shoot the shot? Like I be texting someone, I'm like, yo, do I really want to shoot this shot, dog? Like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this?
What a time to be alive.
Oh man. But I'm trying. Look, I'm going to settle down again. Hopefully, like you know, I just got out of a relationship not too long ago, but it's these periods of times in between my relationships where I'm not going to be saying I'm not going to say I'm moving and shaking, but I'm moving and shaking, and respectful.
So say somewhere Mark Jackson is praying for you.
Hey, I'm here to tell Mark Jackson right now. There are a couple home runs I'm about to hit out the park.
That was the best line in the history of broadcast television.
And I'm trying to downplay Savannah. She's all world, and I knock out the park. I was like, hey,
all due respect.
With all due respect,
that was the best line in pro.
Yo, do you think LeBron called him up afterwards and was like,
yes.
"Hey, my G, I'm gonna need you to chill on that. I'm gonna need you to chill on that."
Yeah, that's one of them. Dog. I heard. The second best, the one that's tied for that was I think it was either the SEC championship game or the national championship game, and Brett Mossberg was in the booth with Kirk Herbstreit, and it was AJ McCarron's girlfriend, and Brett Musburger was like talking to, like, they got a shot of her, and he was like, wow, he's doing great things on and off the field, and like was lusting for this girl for 3 minutes on TV. That was the funniest shit ever. Like Brett I don't think he called a college game after that. Like he lusted for that girl for a solid 3 minutes. He didn't call any action. No, it was a minute. And then they went back to the game, like the action on the field, and he was like, back to the action. Like he lusted for that girl.
Look, I mean, that ass though. I was watching it, and mind you, people, this was game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, and LeBron James is well on his way to a 50 burger. And Mark Jackson up here talking about Savannah James and how you knock out the park.
All due respect, like that's supposed to.
All due respect. I was like, hey yo. Like, hey, yo.
Gerson, G here. What's up, G?
I don't know.
Jazz,
Gerson, I know you scared right now, dog. Don't act like don't come up in this chat like you're not scared, dog.
Kawhi took your soul last night in front of America.
Gerson, I need you to tell me how you feel when you saw Kawhi posterize Derek Favors. By the way, Derek Favors, you better enjoy your last NBA season, dog.
I didn't know Derek Favors was in the league until last night.
You better enjoy your last season with the Utah Jazz, Derek Favors, because they sending you to China next year, dog.
Yeah, you on the Shanghai Sharks, baby.
So why is it that every time an NBA player has a bad game, everybody on Twitter just wants to send them to China? Like, dog, why do you think China wants them? Like, if they fucking up in the NBA, wouldn't you think the Shanghai Sharks don't want them?
In those people's defense, China took Jimmer for that.
Yo, also shout out to Pau Gasol. He won a championship over in Europe over this last week. Shout out to Pau. I think he's 40 years old now, winning the championship. Might be his last championship in his professional basketball career, realistically, but salute to him. That's a championship to championship.
A championship is, you know what, Kyle, we are handing out an award now that I think about it. The Dirty Mac of the millennium is Mark Jackson.
No.
Does Mark Jackson get inducted into the Dirty Mackin Hall of Fame though?
He does get inducted. He doesn't get inducted into the Dirty Mackin Hall of Fame because, like, I need y'all to go back and maybe like watch up into that point. I think this was like what, the third quarter, second. This was like in the second or third quarter.
Like LeBron was pulling up from like half court.
This was at the point of the game when LeBron knew he was cooking. and everyone in that arena knew he was cooking. Mark Jackson up there talking about Savannah James.
And Jeff Van Gundy is just sitting there just awkwardly laughing like, God, please get me out of here.
Now, granted, Jeff Van Gundy started it by saying she was all city.
Yeah.
So Jeff Van Gundy kind of started it. Mark Jackson was the one that took it over the top.
Mark Jackson was just
I'm going to tell you right now. If I'm watching the broadcast and someone's saying they knocking my wife out the podcast, you going to see.
We need to have a conversation with all due respect.
With all due respect. Derek Fisher.
Oh, yeah. Derek Fisher.
God. Man, let me tell you something. Kwame, I don't know why, but that comment made me think of Kwame Brown and how he was just going in on that Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes stuff. I was like, hey, yo, Kwame, your beef got to be legit. Like, you're not even talking about basketball no more.
Yeah, Kwame won the violence. And we can't forget Brett Barry. Brett Barry is also in the Dirty. Oh, we need to do a whole show about Dirty Mackin Hall of Fame. Brett Barry is in the Dirty Mackin Hall of Fame because he hit on Eva Longoria when she was married to Tony Parker and they owned Spurs. Let me make sure I said Brett Barry.
Eva Longoria was married to Tony Parker?
Yeah. Yes. Everyone, we're gonna take 2 seconds. Google Brett Barry Spurs and then get back to me.
I read somewhere that KD brought a girl to a game, but also had a backup date. Newsflash, KD, genius idea. You didn't hear it from me. I mean, you did hear it from me, but KD, you're a great scorer on and off the court, KD. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, man. I might have my info screwed up about Brett Barry and Eva Longoria. I'll have to get back to you guys next week.
Let me tell y'all something. Now, I'm not saying Dirty Mackin is always wrong, fellas, because sometimes, you know what, I'm gonna say this, and this is for my ladies out here who may be listening. Don't block your husband just because you got a boyfriend.
Good night.
Hey, all I'm saying is to my fellas, to my ladies out here, don't block your potential wife, husband just because you got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm not saying go out here and be unfaithful. Not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if the thought of entertaining it comes to your mind, you, my friend, are not happy in your situation.
Here's the main rule of
Dirty Mackin. That's the last thing from me. I'm going to hand it off to Danny Ocean to talk his talk for the rest of this show.
Before we call it a night, the thing about Dirty Mackin, if you are not willing to fight the person significant other than you are not ready for Dirty Mackin. You better be ready to fight. And I'm not talking about NBA fight. I'm talking about someone pulling out a pistol.
Yes.
And clearing this like the old Wild West.
That is why I stopped messing with people's girlfriends why I recently stopped messing with people's wives.
Jesus on the cross. What? Oh my God.
Okay. This is the last wild thing I'm gonna say. I knew marriage. I knew I had to stop when I hit somebody's wife with the husband. Like me and a husband hit somebody's wife. No, me and a husband hit his wife. I'm sorry, I got to put that into.
Please explain hit because
we had sex with his wife. We
with all due respect.
With all due respect, me and this husband had sex with his wife, and I'm going to be honest with you. That is when I knew that's the last time that's going to happen. That's the last time that's going to happen. And I'm here to tell y'all. Why
thank you,
I didn't touch him. Me and him weren't doing nothing. Me and him weren't doing nothing. It was me. She was doing us.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I can't.
That is episode 19 of Speak On It.
That's all I got.
D, let's say goodbye to the. This episode is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over for all your fantasy needs. D, say goodbye to the people without admitting to infidelity.
Infidelity.
To playing a role in infidelity.
It's not infidelity. They were together. They were a couple. That's not infidelity. That's when I knew something was interesting. They were a couple, dog.
We appreciate you, Tomlin. Please come back.
They were. That's when I knew. Yeah. This ain't for me, dog. This ain't for me. That's a story for another time.
You just told it. Like, that's the story. I don't. Without getting into details, that's the story.
That is the story. Because if I go into it, y'all gonna be like, "Hey, yo, you wild for that one." That is the story. That is the story. If I yeah, that's the story. You're right. Yeah. I don't know who
I don't even remember what sports topics we talked about now. My goodness. Yeah. Good night. Goodbye, everyone.
People you already know when you see this Nas face, it can only be.
It's coming for your wife.
People, you know, when you see this Nas face, it can only be one brother, the good brother, the trying to be more wholesome brother.
With all
Los D Mix. Please keep me in your prayers, because heaven and the Lord knows that I need them. Daddy Ocean, you know it's always a pleasure being here with you. Shout out to the people out here. Y'all know we came here to speak on it. We'll be back next week.